If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I think most of us know who Nikola Tesla was. In today's presentation, we're talking about sound, vibration, and frequency. And is that a large piece of the puzzle to understanding life? Just life in general, in every aspect. And we're going to watch some clips. This is going to be a series of clips, and I believe this is truly an exhilarating set of subjects and clips to help know ourselves better so that we can understand how the universal energies work. And first of all, the first clip is going to be this cute little girl and her father demonstrating how sound actually can move matter. And this is fascinating to me. So y'all just bear with me as we get them all going. And hopefully the sound works. We're about to find out. And this one starts right now.
Satnam. What happens when we have a gong bath? Well, the vibrations pass through our body and processes occur. Very loud vibrations, very deep vibrations. They impact on different organs, different bones. The more dense the bone, the deeper the vibration, the longer lasting it is inside your body. So to demonstrate what happens in a very simplistic way, I've built this tonoscope. Now this is a water main with a 45-degree angle attached to a single piece of rainwater pipe, which my lovely daughter Eleanor is holding. And what's going to happen is she's going to tone or make a single note down the tube, and we're going to look at the vibrations as they occur through the membrane at the top, and hopefully something quite miraculous and beautiful will happen. Eleanor, take it away. There we are. Can you see the patterns on the top there? Now you'll see these patterns in nature. You see them on the back of tortoise shells, you see them in sunflower seeds, you see them in leaves. This vibration and the way it occurs is what's happening inside us. Let's do this one more time. A little bit more granulated sugar on the top. You can use salt as well. Take it away. So what happens is the higher the note, the more intricate the pattern. So once you get into ultrasound, things are very, very different. Hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. Thank you.
Now, the people that have been with us before, y'all have seen and we've talked about how water changes its molecular structure through sound and words. And these are just simple tools for us to start understanding the power of words and our own sounds that we create. And let's see what these doctors say about curing cancer with sound.
Thousands of people are diagnosed with cancer every year. Sometimes the primary cancer in the breast, liver, prostate, or lungs, for example, can spread to the bone, and that can be very painful.
So somebody, for instance, who might have just one metastasis to the spine, that metastasis might be so painful, and that makes them unable to interact with their family, their grandchildren, their loved ones, their co-workers, and really diminishes their quality of life.
Now, doctors at UCLA have a new treatment for metastatic bone cancer. It's an FDA-approved, minimally invasive technique called radiofrequency ablation.
So you see this gentleman had metastases to the liver. Those weren't bothering them. It's the metastasis to the spine that was so painful.
Radiofrequency ablation is currently used for bone cancer that does not respond to chemotherapy or radiation. Precise CT imaging maps the tumor's exact location, shape, and size. A thin, specially designed probe is then guided into the tumor, providing a narrow channel for a second probe to deliver controlled bursts of heat.
The heat itself vaporizes the tumor cells, killing them.
The same device can then be used to place sterile bone cement into the newly created cavity to stabilize the surrounding bone structure if needed.
The most significant benefit of the treatment is that pain goes away, and it goes away very, very rapidly. So this is what has us so excited.
UCLA is currently studying the long-term impact of radiofrequency ablation for metastatic bone cancer. To date, 90% of patients here have experienced almost complete pain relief.
All right, so 90% of them are getting pain relief or cured from radio waves. But the interesting thing they said, which I really can't go into on this channel or without getting kicked off, is that you have to do it after chemo, even though it has such a high success rate before, because as we all know, cancer is a big, big, big business, unfortunately. So we all know now, we can see how these doctors are curing cancer with sound. We see how matter is moved with sound. What else can we take into consideration? Because I believe the Infinite gave us this gift of sound to be able to use and to understand it. And to understand it, we need to probe these ideas. There's a lot of ancient spiritual text from the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita's, I mean a lot. And most of them say that God said, let there be. Let there be the earth, let there be the heavens, let there be whatever. So if he says something, doesn't that mean a word? Doesn't that mean sound? And so can sound actually create? I don't know. It's a pretty interesting subject. And let's see if I can get this to play.
Interesting planet sounds from space recorded by NASA.
So every planet has its own sound. And if everything has its own sound, and the earth is producing its own frequencies, which y'all have heard me say here, I mean, we've talked about how to resonate and get in tune by meditation into, let's feel the power of the earth. Let's feel the cosmos. Let's feel, just meditate. Just quiet the mind. I would like before this starts, we've been offering like all these documentaries that we see on these subjects, inviting people out. So you're a new guy. I haven't met you before, have I? No. So we got two new guys. We'll come out and get together during the week and watch different really cool documentaries to help us know ourselves better and touch on a whole variety of these topics. And Dino, this is the one I'd like for us to watch this week. This is the trailer for it.
We have so much inflammation in the body, and it comes out in illnesses. We go to a doctor with all these complaints, but a lot of it is silent inflammation. So how do we reduce inflammation? In simple terms, grounding is literally putting your bare feet on the ground. When you do that, you're in contact with the earth, and Mother Earth is endowed with electrons, and these electrons are literally absorbed through your feet. It's like taking handfuls of antioxidants.
Grounding means connecting to the earth to support the specific function of the organs of your body. It supports the body as a whole, but it specifically supports organ systems down to the tissues and the cellular function of the entire body.
You could take anybody who has chronic pain. It doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter what's wrong, and ground them, and you're going to have a significant reduction in pain. You're going to stop the inflamed portion. That stops almost immediately. Then the body can heal and return to normal. And healing generally is improved by 60–70%. If inflammation is the cause of all these health disorders, then I know not grounding is the cause of inflammation, because if the body is grounded, you can't have inflammation.
This is so incredible. This is Nobel Prize material. There's 21 published studies in the medical literature on earthing and grounding, and this is peer-reviewed stuff. In simple terms, what earthing does is literally, it quenches the fires of inflammation, and if inflammation is the source of all root illnesses, including Alzheimer's disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, I mean, the list goes on and on. If you can impact inflammation and, squelch it, kill it, stop it, we're going to be healthier beings.
Go outdoors, take your shoes off, stand barefoot on the earth, or sit on the earth, put your feet and your hands on the earth, and you will instantly notice the pain and inflammation begin to drain from your body. I got my life back is probably the most common refrain that I hear. Thank you, I got my life back. I got my life back.
Now, I know that sounds absolutely crazy to most people, and it is understandable. But we have gotten so detached from nature. We have gotten so detached from, most everybody lives in the big city. And when I saw this documentary, to me, just like we discussed last week, how science is proving that there is some kind of infinite energy, what I like to call the source of all things. We all know it as God. Science is proving over and over with all these peer-reviewed studies, with all these things, like, what is this force? Hey, why don't y'all just go take your shoes off? Because I didn't bring you into this world with those shoes. Why don't you just go sit out there and let the Earth's radiation, let the Earth's energy help you? Why don't you allow it to reduce anxiety? Like countless people who have never gone out barefooted and just sit down for a little while, don't even know how to meditate, just sit and just be with themselves. All of a sudden they have remarkable reductions in their anxiety. They're able to communicate with themselves better, with others better, because they're taking a step back and they're allowing the earth to do what it's supposed to do with your own body. It's fascinating, and we shouldn't ignore these things. Now we're going to get back to this that we saw when we first started, because this is how it ties back to what we watched several weeks ago, or what we discussed with thanking our water. How the molecular crystals of water, by saying thank you to your water, how that actually changes the structure of things. So this is actually showing how sound changes matter, and matter matters.
The first experiment for the Cymatics music video is called a Chladni plate. Now, Chladni plate's basically a metal plate attached to the top of a speaker. There's sand on top of the plate, and you play different tones through the speaker. The plate vibrates, which forms different shapes depending on the frequency of the sound.
Well, we blew up a lot of speakers with the Chladni plate. So there was a lot of experimenting around the Chladni plate, primarily looking at how much volume we can put through there, how much sand to actually put on the plate, and the different shapes of plates and what different patterns would be created because of those shapes. But what we were really testing was what frequencies create the most interesting repeatable patterns, because that was a key point. So we ended up playing pretty much every audio frequency through the plate to see what different shapes it would form.
And for most frequencies, it doesn't really do much, but when it hits a frequency that resonates with the plate, it forms a really nice pure shape. So we found out what those tones were, and those were the tones we used to draw the plate in the video.
So frequency matters. And I am going to illustrate to you, does it mean we should listen more closely? And I think y'all know the answer to this. The answer is hell yes, we should.
Did you know the Earth has a heartbeat? Stay tuned to hear it. At any given time, approximately 2,000 thunderstorms occur on Earth, producing around 50 flashes of lightning every second. Each burst of lightning creates electromagnetic waves that begin to circle the Earth between the surface and the ionosphere, 60 miles above. Some of the waves caught in this cavity, if they have just the right wavelength, combine, increasing in strength to create a repeated atmospheric heartbeat known as Schumann resonance. The base Schumann resonance has an atmospheric electromagnetic frequency of 7.83 Hertz. This is an extremely low frequency, but it sounds something like this. Now, during the next thunderstorm, you can tell your friends that lightning is part of the Earth's atmospheric heartbeat.
So the Earth has a heartbeat. That is interesting. I don't know if I was ever told that whenever I was in Earth class, but I find it fascinating that we are seeing how sound affects us, how sound changes molecular structure, how sound moves things, how sound can cure cancer, how sound can kill cells. it's pretty amazing, these things that we really don't understand yet. And, does this prove, this one in particular, resonating? Like, when Ricky tells me sometimes that he's upset, or if he's upset at me, maybe I irritated Ricky. And, but if his voice is resonating with me in a nice way, it's okay. Like he's coming from a place of good intent. It'd be like Andrew last week, whenever you're cooking and everybody's in your way. We had a massive crowd, and you're like, "You people need to get the F out of my way." That is, and so that frequency, it instantly hits home with everybody. Like, oh, I better get out of his way. But it was nothing but a sound, and those sounds affected everybody else, right? It's pretty important.
Sound is a wave that we perceive with our ears. It makes our favorite music and it keeps us out of danger, but it's so much more than that. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out D-News today. I'm Trace. Now listen up. Sound is extremely powerful. It's made of invisible waves of energy passing through substances, ground, water, air, particle to particle. The human ear can perceive these waves as long as their frequency is between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. Anything above or below that we can't hear, but they're still there, because these waves contain energy. And with enough din, you can make these waves do some incredible things. Outside of medical technology like ultrasound, one of the most commonly known ways to make sound do something is by breaking a glass. This works only when the sound wave is at the exact same frequency as the object you're shooting at. If you gently flick a wine glass with your fingernail, you will hear its frequency. Match that tone and turn the volume up, way up to like 11. And that glass will probably break. Also within the range of hearing is sound levitation. This is way cooler than breaking stuff, if you ask me. Sound levitation has been around for years, but until recently, we couldn't do much with the stuff once it was levitated. It just sort of hung there in the air. Thanks to advances at a Swiss university called ETH Zurich, we can not only levitate stuff, but we can move it around, adjusting floating fluids. This works by using the energy in the sound waves. In this apparatus, the energy waves reflect back and forth so quickly they form what's called a standing wave, or a specific point where the energy from the sound can hold an object in midair. Think of it like these silly executive desk toys. The ball in the middle, that's the standing wave. The thing that they just figured out is how to move the stuff once it's levitating. Now they can use this system to manipulate liquids, combining and separating them, all without touching them with human hands, which is immediately applicable to drug manufacturing. That's kind of cool. These energy waves can do a lot of other stuff too. The LRAD, or long-range acoustical device, is a weapon that shoots sound. It's like a sonic death ray, but without the death part. It can produce so much sound that you feel physical pain, like 160 decibels. That's loud. Think NASA rocket launch. But it won't kill you. It just really hurt, like a sonic hurt ray. If you combine some of those technologies, sound can produce really strange effects. In the 1950s, NASA and the US Navy built a device that produces ultra-low frequencies, or ultrasonic sound. If you pointed it at a person and set it to 19 hertz, people would have vision problems and get spots and stuff, because 19 hertz is the resonant frequency of the human eyeball. Kind of like that wine glass example we talked about. If you turn the volume up, people actually would have trouble breathing because the low frequencies were impacting the lungs like energy waves, and if you shot it through the ground, your skeleton would vibrate, causing nausea and joint pain. So which of these sound inventions is your favorite? The levitating ones for drug manufacturing, ultrasound?
I don't know if y'all picked up on that, the levitating part, because yogis have been talking about that for thousands of years. To sit and meditate, and they would talk about how their sounds and chants would make things levitate around them. And now science is actually doing it. Hi, Matt. I'm glad you're here. I love you, brother. I just think it's so amazing, because how many of us would have thought you could levitate anything? It makes you want to think, how did we build pyramids and build a whole bunch of other stuff if ancients knew we could actually... What if they didn't move it the way we thought? What if a lot of this history that we've been taught is really not true whenever science is proving it for us? Let's just take this into consideration with levitation.
A new device called LeviPrint uses sound waves to levitate and manipulate objects for touch-free building. We spoke to one of the researchers behind LeviPrint to learn more about how it works, what it's capable of, and how it could be put to use. Let's check it out.
LeviPrint print is a system that can levitate, manipulate different objects to assemble complex pieces. Of course, these objects could be small spheres, but also droplets of glue, and cure it whenever we want with ultraviolet. And the most important thing and the most novel thing is that we can levitate, move, and rotate sticks.
The levitation is created by sound waves that have a frequency approximately double the highest frequency that we humans can hear.
When you create these sound fields, they have different shapes. Yeah, they usually have like a wavy pattern. And when you put small objects, they get trapped in this standing wave.
In LeviPrint's video, you can see the interference patterns created by the sound waves.
Dark areas like black, it's like low amplitude, or if we talk about some low volume. Areas that are brighter, that's high intensity. And you can see that the particles, they tend to go to the low amplitude areas.
These low amplitude areas are good for trapping and manipulating objects like spheres or glue droplets, but when elongated objects like sticks get involved, it gets more complicated.
When you levitate small particles or a droplet of glue, it looks like a pair of fingers. It holds the particle there. But when we levitate sticks, we tested different methods, and some things, they look like two pairs of fingers.
I wanted to show you all that just to illustrate that science is actually levitating things. What is the power of our own voice? What are the powers and vibrations of our own thoughts? How do we connect with each other differently in more powerful ways if sounds can actually move something? And I was thinking of sounds moving something the other day when I pulled up to a red light, and this Yahoo pulls up beside me, and boom, boom, and my whole car's rattling. And it goes right to the point that I was already working on this presentation, and I was thinking of how sound physically moves items. And my whole truck is moving. And that is one just easy illustration, but scientists are actually levitating things. I think our minds and our sounds have a lot more power than what we tell ourselves. And how can we enhance our own lives by using it? I don't know. Do we enhance our lives by using sound in this kind of way? Because I think a lot of people are accustomed in this world to hearing these kind of sounds, and I think
filming, asshole. Where you fucking filming shit? Okay. Yeah. Want that fucking door anymore. Watch. 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 What?
that's Noah.
What? What the fuck's going on? We can say door / bye-bye. We can say door, bye-bye.
A lot of us, especially a few of us here that have had trouble growing up, we've heard a lot of sounds that had a real negative impact on our life. Like real negative. Sounds like, your dad or mom saying, really bad stuff. Those are sounds. Those exact sounds can either rip us apart on a molecular level, an emotional level, or sounds can enhance us. They can elevate us. We can surround ourselves with people that don't like those sounds. We want to have good sounds. I want to be able to tell Matt I love him. And I'm sorry I called you a dick earlier. I didn't mean to give you that sound. I apologize. Sort of. But this is the last clip we're going to watch, and I think this really hits home the point. But there are a lot of things in this video that I'd like for y'all to think about, because we take for granted the earth. We take for granted the resonance. We all have shoes on, and for the ones of y'all that don't watch the documentary with us, you can find it on YouTube. Y'all are electricians, and most people's shoes are rubber. And that's an insulator from electricity. And so we're insulating ourselves by accident, and unknowingly taking away our connection to earth, just simply by our shoes. Very few people go lay in the grass. It's a pretty rare thing now, unless you come out here. But it's pretty amazing stuff, and I'd like to share that with whoever wants to get it. I'll forward it to you, or you can come watch it with me and Dean.
See, this is clean water, and this represents how you're born. But then life happens. We're told what we're supposed to do, what's not acceptable. Some people get told that they're stupid. They get told that they're fat. It's impossible to go through life without getting some scars. But then we hear that we should think positive. And that's like taking a little bit of clean water and pouring it in. It makes it a little bit more clear, but it doesn't make the negativity go away. But then you have to realize that this is how you have to be. You have to search for the positive things in your life. You have to find the things to be grateful for, the things to be happy about. You have to be intentional about creating positive relationships and an environment in your life that's positive. Because see, positive thinking isn't something that you do sometimes. It's something that you have to do all the time.
Ricky, when I saw that, I thought about you, because Ricky just told me that yesterday. He said, I'm constantly working on not allowing negativity to bother me. I'm always catching myself. That's what he told me yesterday, basically. And I applaud that. I think that's really one of the goals of this talk today, was that our voices, our sounds, if I holler at you in an argument, if me and you are best friends, maybe we're in a business deal or something together, and one of us perceived the other one screwed each other, and I come up yelling at you, or you come yelling at me, do we solve anything? No. Do I solve anything by treating each other respectfully and talking in a manly way? Does Bonnie achieve anything if she's rude to in-laws with the sound? Does my dad connect with me emotionally when all he has are stupid jokes? The answer is no. We all have to come from a place of meaning and understanding. And we have proven that you can meditate and create levitation. And we are done for today. I want to thank everybody. This was a very different presentation, very unlike normal. But I thought it might be one of the best ways to illustrate the point. And I thought we would end this. Oh, especially y'all, if you're in the local area, come by and see us. We start at 1:15 and 1:30. But be here at 1:15, not like some people that showed up today. We won't mention any names, Matt. And all right, well, let's play this out with some Christmas songs and elevate our level of music. And plus, the girl's good looking.